Okay, good afternoon, good evening, good morning, wherever you are in the world. Shannon Procise here, and I am doing a quick Facebook Live because I wanted you to meet this remarkable woman. I've had the opportunity of hearing her speak over the years at Women's Prosperity Network, and then she became on faculty at CEO Space, which many of you know I've been a member for over 12 years. And those of you that don't know, in order to be on faculty at CEO Space, you have to be third-party vetted, and there's all kinds of things to make sure that you can do what you say you're going to do, and they do everything they can to avoid any sort of frauds or scams or anything like that. So not that Jackie needs to needs that, but I always like to share that because it is like this other level of vetting. But beyond that, when I first met her, we just had so much synergy, and I'm like, there are so many speakers, authors, individuals out there that have a message to get out to the masses. And as I've been able to dive in and learn more about what she does, this is, if you're a speaker, author, coach, somebody with a message, you definitely want to pay attention or share this with somebody that you know that could benefit, because wow, I cannot think of anybody that's pulled together so many resources, and we have a great gift. So I'm going to tell you that now. Make sure you stick around because she's giving stuff away. It's Giving Tuesday, and we're really blessed to have her sharing some wonderful stuff. So Jackie, welcome. Speakertunity is the name of the company, correct? Did I say that?
It is. And Shannon, thank you for that beautiful introduction. That was so lovely. I've also loved our connection through the years, and I just seeing it growing. So it's really exciting. So yes, the company is called Speakertunity, and we are the speaker and leader resource company. We don't teach you how to speak, but we do just about everything else to help you get booked. And our mission is to help anybody that needs to grow their business by getting in front of an audience, to find those leads faster and get the tools so that somebody who's in a decision-making position is going to say yes. So we are pushing the odds in your direction to make sure that you are consistently booked and rebooked. So, and we can talk a little bit more about what all those things are, but essentially, if you need to get booked, you need to come and see me. And the other thing we do, just to mention it and put it on the side, we also do radio podcast tours for leaders where we introduce them to 9,000 radio shows and podcasts at the exact same time. And we guarantee a minimum of 30 interviews in our top 2 programs. That's under the Conscious Media Relations banner. But that's where we've done for you. That's the only thing that we do done for you. Everything else on Speakertunity is do it yourself. We're going to just get you there faster, take the research out of the headaches, and make sure that you're going to be a star on stages and radio shows and podcasts and virtual summits, and even use virtual networking to collect clients. So we're right there for you. Oh, and TEDx's. I forgot to mention the TEDx.
Yes, please, because I know I have a friend who came and spent a couple days with me, and she's like, I want to get on TEDx. I'm like, you've got to meet Jackie. Yeah, talk a little bit about that.
Okay, so we have a whole series of products. So let me kind of give you the array, and TEDx is one of those. So we have 3 subscription products. One is Speakertunity Speaker Leads, which give you leads all over North America. Now, these aren't paid leads, but they are opportunities to get on somebody's stages, whether that's a local meeting or a conference, convention, and lifestyle event, or a TEDx, or a spiritual center, or a bookstore, or a retreat center. That's really for a transformational leader. The next thing is Speakertunity Radio Insider, where we give you 40 radio shows and podcasts where you can book yourselves every month. And the third one is called Speakertunity Summits, where we give you virtual summits with open guest presenter seats and giveaways looking for partners. Those simple products are only $35 a month. The next thing is Speakertunity Cities Regional speaker lead directories. In other words, we've gathered up to 1,800 speaker leads just in your own market in 4 different categories. First is business, which is about 75% of the directory. And that is subdivided into 40 industries, ethnicities, and genders. So if you want women's meetings or entrepreneur meetings or real estate people or healthcare professionals, it's all marked out. Then the next thing is all the philanthropic and service groups, your Rotaries and your Seroptimists and your Zantas and your Kiwanis, they always have stages. The next category is consumers. So that means moms or health and wellness support groups or seniors or parenting or military, LGBT, other special interest groups and bookstores, libraries, and hospitals. And lastly, spiritual centers or unities, centers for spiritual living and faith-based groups. All of that goes in the last category. So we cover all of that in any one directory. So we're going to have 60 of those directories available by springtime. We're up to about 40 right now. If we don't have your market, you can go to the bottom of the page at Speakertunity Cities and request your market, and then we'll notify you when it's ready. But we're building all of those right now, and you'll be able to download them as a PDF or an Excel file or both. Then we realized that a lot of people want to get on TEDx's. So we have taken all the data in that TEDx website because it is, it's a bear to figure out where things are. And we've downloaded into 2 spreadsheets, one that gives you by date, one that gives you by state or province. Therefore, you can at a glance know what's coming up in your area, what's virtual, what is live, and all the details, a link to the web to where you can get more information. And so all of that has been completed. That's a mere $99 for the year. Then the next, and we just redid everything for 2021. Then we realized that a lot of people had never booked themselves before. So we created a booking system, a turnkey booking system with a video and sample templates to doing your one sheet if you want to do it yourself, and sample scripts for follow-up calls, sample pitch letters to send, tracking documents, checklists for what happens after you get booked. It's all there. And you can even do it for yourself or hand it off to a virtual assistant. The next thing is, we realize that a lot of the networking today is going on in virtual formats. And there are so many of them people don't even know about. Now, you may not be able to go into a room to go stand there at an eWomen or a BNI or something like that. But we have found 200 virtual networking opportunities that reoccur and that are low cost or no cost. And 40 of those are just for women. So we have assembled all that into Speakertunity Recurring Virtual Networking Update. That's also $99. Then we have the newest thing that we've added, which is Speakertunity Sheets. In Speakertunity Sheets, we'll do your speaker one sheet or your podcast introductory sheets. All you have to do is pick the template, pick your colors, submit the information in the form we request, and in a couple of days, you'll have it back. No headaches, no hassle, no trying to figure it out how to do it yourself, no finding a graphic designer. It's all there and it's done. And I have to tell you, this is the beginning. We are continuing to add resources and products, and people can just go to the bottom of the page of Speakertunity and indicate that they want to be added to the notification list as we bring on new stuff. So we are there to help you cut the time short of getting on stages wherever those platforms may be.
Beautiful. I love your story. Can you share real quick of what got you into this? Because what producing over 400 events and event consulting and all of that piece, to me, and also being a speaker, what you've put together is brilliant, is remarkable. I know you said it's not done for you. However, you're doing the hardest part. Like, to me, you're doing the heavy lifting to be able to get those resources and the speaker sheet, all of those things to help you get booked on stage. But when I heard your story, can you share a little bit about your background? And because I think that's such a gift in here of your experience.
Sure, I'm happy to do that. So I wasn't exactly your normal little girl. At 11 years old, I married my 2 favorite subjects, the Los Angeles Dodgers and writing, And I told my parents I was going to be a sports writer. Now, I'm old enough that there were no women sports writers in that era, but I had a clear vision. This was what I was going to do. And so at 20, I was at the Detroit Free Press. At 21, I was at the Associated Press and on the front pages of the LA Times. At 22, I was at the Washington Post. And by the way, I did co-host Audrey Dugout in there for a summer on television. And so from there, I went on to have one of the largest sports special events and cable TV PR agencies in America for 20 years. And my client list included Toyota Motorsports and the National Hockey League and Showtime. And I'm telling you, as a world-class client, you would recognize all my clients. And the last thing I did was I launched the worldwide poker phenomenon with the World Poker Tour and got people watching poker for the next gazillion years on television and started that whole poker boom. So it was really very exciting. And then the media was changing. It was all going to social media. You couldn't really get the kinds of things that you could for clients in the past. And I was fast losing interest. But at the same time, I wrote 2 books. I was called to write those 2 books. You know how your soul calls you to do things? One was called The Art of Conscious Creation, which just went up on Audible, actually. The second was called Practical Conscious Creation, Daily Techniques to Manifest Your Desires. That book was the best spiritual book at the International New Age Trade Show. Together, they were both international bestsellers. And when I got done with that, I thought, you know, I need to promote my own books. So I'm going to put together a media list to do this. And I pulled up 750 radio shows between the internet, radio, and broadcast at that point. And I did over 100 interviews for my books and decided that other people could use this too. So I then went ahead and started, and I realized my heart was really serving the people of the world that were either improving one's life, one's business, or the planet. And so I rebranded the company as Conscious Media Relations. And just for the last 12 years, that's what we've been doing. We've been doing the radio podcast tours. And then about 5 years ago, some of them said to me, oh, gee, can you book me for radio? Can you book me for speaking engagements? And I'm going, nah, I don't want to do that. But I know where all these are. Why don't I just tell you? And that's how Speakertunity was born. And so we started with the first one, Speakertunity Speaker Leads, and then it just continued to blossom. And as what I say is that I follow the universe's breadcrumbs. And, you know, there are signs. Oh, there's an opportunity there. There's a need, a void. Can I fill that? And I'm a right brain, left brainer. So I love putting data together, like things together. And at the same time, also creative. And so they work really well together when you're putting together massive amounts of data that people can benefit from, and then having the fun aspects of marketing it and creating the videos and doing all those other kinds of things. We've got cool videos for a lot of our products. So, you know, it's a really fun way to, I guess the word is be a pioneer. So that's my story.
Yeah, and the ripple effect. I mean, the thing that I think connected us, if you do events also, please let Jackie know or check in, because I know you were like, you do events, are you looking for speakers? And what a great resource for producing events, but also the speaker aspect and knowing where to go and knowing what to get booked. I think a lot of people want to speak, but they don't really understand the business of speaking and the opportunities and how to get out there. So that's really wonderful.
Oh, and we've got a couple of e-courses coming. They're not up there yet. One is called the Rocket Your Radio and Podcast Bookings, and the other one's called the Art of Filling Your Speaking Calendar. So we'll give you the process as well. So stay tuned. That's coming. You'll see it shortly. But the other thing I was going to say is, if you are a content producer who puts on a virtual summit or a giveaway or speaking, and you need people who are, you know, guest presenters, speakers, giveaway partners, please reach out to us. We have a page on Speakertunity called Submissions, where you can give us that information. Also, if you have a podcast and you want guests, we can send you podcast guests. So, so all of those things, we welcome what I would consider our tribe.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. So I'm thrilled, because after years of knowing you, I'm like, I want to be a power partner. I want to help people know what you're doing, because I know as a speaker, this has been a gap. You know, this is a place of like, what do I do and how do I do it? And And so I know that you were so generous. I went and ended up setting up a page just for all of your gifts. If you go to shannonprocise.com/partners, Jackie is there. And Jackie, on here, I know I didn't review this with you ahead of time, but you have Speakertunity. If you go to this particular site, I could actually probably screen share real quick. Let me just.
It's basically a month free in each of the 3 subscription services. Speakertunity Speaker Leads, Speakertunity Radio Insider, which has radio shows and podcasts, and then Speakertunity Summits that also have summits and giveaways. So you got to try it out, a whole month free. That's about 160 different leads that you can take advantage of. And then if you like it and you want to stick around, stay on it. If you want to opt out of one and keep in the others, or go into one and not all 3, hey, all of that is possible just using that link.
Beautiful. So it's shannonprocise.com/partners. And the other piece that I wanted to add here was that a lot of times, I tell people sometimes check things out first, and you can actually generate the income to pay for it. So I'm imagining, I was thinking it was going to be 7 days or a couple weeks, that you've given them an entire month. Imagine the bookings that you could get and what you could create, in your, as far as flow, to continue to pay for this and continue to get booked and that piece.
Thank you. Well, we want people to feel confident that the service that we're providing is going to be of value to them.
So if somebody's just getting started, they're how do I say this? Let's see here. If somebody's just getting started, which of these 3 do you think they should focus on? Or do you think it would be okay to download all 3? What would you suggest if somebody's still kind of new to the speaker and still trying to figure out what's what? Can you share your?
I would say download all of them, period.
You would, okay.
And then think about where you're going to have the most opportunity. Yes, many of those speaking gigs have gone digital, not all of them, but yes, and you can figure out which ones. The radio shows and podcasts, they're always going, and they've got bigger audiences than ever. That's a great place for anybody to start. And virtual summits is a great opportunity, but you also have, some of them have a minimum list size. So you need to be able to qualify for that. So the optimum one, I think, is radio and podcasts. It's the easiest one to get in. The other one, you're going to have to sort of figure out what makes most sense to you, what is in your speaker category, and reach out to them. And then summits, if you're ready and set, and some of them don't have a minimum list size, you can get into any of them. And then some, you have to see whether you will fit by subject matter and or by list size.
Beautiful. Okay, so download all 3.
Go ahead. But there is one thing I want to mention. If you don't want to stay on them and be charged at the end of 30 days, you're going to get a notification that says, this is your day to make a decision. So you can opt out at that time or just stay on. So if you're testing all of them and you don't want to keep on 1 or 2 of them, make sure that you cancel out.
Perfect. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Well, I am really excited. I'm sitting here going, I haven't done this yet. I need to get on here and use it, because we've been working on getting booked through the end of the year. So I'm really thrilled. I'm eager to have you come back, because I know that once I got into really exploring your business model and doing the due diligence of what's here, so that I can best share and support. And in our tribe, the Trailblazers, we have a lot of speakers. We have a few people that think that they're no longer speakers because of the pivot. And I'm like, no, we just got to get you doing it virtually and making that change. So as I started looking at all that you have, I'm like, this is an empire. I mean, this is literally everything that you need to go out there and speak and make it as easy as possible to get booked. Those of you that don't, so today is Giving Tuesday. Thank you for giving so generously to our community. We are sending out a newsletter here shortly. We're also giving out some wonderful things, so you can private message, and we're going to be including this. This is not going away. This is a permanent thing that she's offered our community. Again, that's at shannonprocise.com/partners. Jackie, so I'm going to ask you two more things. One will be final remarks, but is there something that's happening in the marketplace right now that people must know? Like you're to me, you're like at the forefront of some of what's happening in the speaking industry, and is there something that you feel like people must know to impact their business?
I think virtual networking is going to make a big difference. You know, you do not have to sit around and think to yourself, where am I going to find my next client? They are waiting for you. And if you take advantage of it, it's not a way to get not just great clients, but also joint venture partners, other people that are willing to cross promote with you. I think that is the biggest trend that we're seeing, which is why we created something. And I'm spending a ton of time doing it myself, just on those contacts and meeting people and re-meeting people and, you know, building this community of clients, prospects, and also a joint venture partner. So I think that's really where, and speaking is coming back, you know, whether they're going to, the number of speaking engagements that you will get paid for is still small. There may be out there, but you also have to be at the top of the food chain to get them today. Everybody else, you better be prepared to speak to enroll either with a free offer or a paid offer. But those opportunities are just proliferating like crazy. I was on one conference the other day. It said that it used to be that there were 7,000 speaking opportunities in the US on a regular daily basis. They calculate that it's already gone up to 9,000 with the advent of the pandemic. That's made us all be looking for other ways to communicate. So those opportunities are out there, and that's my final words as well. Don't hide your light under a bushel. You really need to get out, and man, they're all over the place. Just be aggressive at pursuing them. Do not sit around and, you know, pat yourself on the back and say, oh, I'm so sorry, there's so little out there and money is slow and I just don't. Get out there. It doesn't cost you a ton of money to get on lots and lots of stages. What it does cost is a little bit of time and making time in your schedule. And I say book 3 hours a week minimum in your schedule so that you will be actively doing that. And that means block it on your calendar, like you were making an appointment with somebody else, so that you can spend that time to do outreach.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Thank you so much, my friend. I am really, really grateful. I was just thinking about how much people pay to acquire lists, and the fact that this is $35 a month and you're giving us a month free. I was just like, wow, I know people have spent thousands of dollars for lists. So thank you for this gift of helping make it be easy. With that, please go to shannonprocise.com /partners. Get in her, you know, get in all the good stuff that she has. I'm going to have you back, Jackie, probably sometime next month. I know there's some other things that you have going on, and the networking piece, and maybe we can dive in a little bit deeper on the TED Talk.
Yeah, and we can talk a little bit more about what people need to know when they're booking themselves.
Ooh, who wants that? Give a thumbs up and say, I want more. I just had the weirdest thing happen, but I went in and fixed it. And I don't know if anybody else is. I know there's so many changes in technology, but I streamed this live to Facebook, and it was only going to me. So I went in and I opened it up and I shared it, but I was like, oh my gosh, what's going on? So if you're streaming live on Zoom and you want to promote somebody that's incredible like Jackie, make sure the settings are working. So those of you that are watching the replay, please check in and let us know if you want to see Jackie back again. And Jackie, I love you. I appreciate you. Thank you so much for all your giving.
Thank you, sweetheart. It's a joy. I love playing with you.
Beautiful. All right. Bye for now.